Okay. Roll,
That's a lot of questions, guys. Lots of questions.
Birthday boy.
looks like we have enough members to have a quorum. Eric Hummel, by video. I'm looking for a motion to approve the agenda and approve the previous committee meetings from September 5th, 2024.
So move.
We hear, I'll second it.
Wait a second, okay.
Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed, say nay. Hearing none, that's approved. Public comments on the agenda. I see nobody in the public, nobody online.
Mr. Hummel's online.
Well, is
He's
it
part of
Mr.
the-
Stewart on it? I'm just kidding, maybe he wasn't. That was last meeting.
Okay. Chairman comments. I have none at this time. Discussion and approve the administrator coordinator quarterly evaluations. This is something that was brought up by trustee Hess. We have already approved the pilot program. This was brought by our administrator, Dwayne Gall, who was here. And there was a request to see how we were going to monitor the program by trustee Hess. And Mr. Gall has come up with the evaluation form, which is enclosed here in our meeting packet. I have reviewed it. I think it's satisfactory. Also, you know, some of the other questions on that is Dwayne and Vanderwalt are still going to be consultants. So Mr. Martinson can always come back with on professional questions and through any bumps in the road, contact either one of those services. And that's all I have. Do you have anything, Dwayne, on this?
All I want to do is state on this is very similar to what we have for the evaluations for the rest of the staff. In other words, it's called the format that the rest of the department heads and staff have been following over the years. It's been pared down specifically for the pilot program, which would be the Ben during this period of time. It's set up as quarterly. That's what they were looking at the time. And the other thing is, I did not go through a process or a recommended process, how it would be done by the committee as a whole or village board. And that's something that I was going to let, I could work with Ben, but there is a good procedure that I would have in mind, but it's not on here tonight for our discussion. But basically, you use this as the model to do your evaluation. There is a procedure that I've seen other people use where you get a good input from all the village board members and also the person who's being evaluated. So I can provide that to you if you want it, but there's a process I didn't put together at this time.
Okay, with that, I'm gonna propose a motion that we approve the administrator coordinator quarterly evaluation form. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Second by trustee Zerflu. Any further discussion on the evaluation form?
Yes.
Trustee Zerflu?
I know public safety, I keep repeating this to everybody ad nauseum, but third line from the bottom of job description, oversee the preparation of agendas and meeting materials. I get that. However, that still has to be approved by the chairman of the committees, right? Correct?
Correct.
Okay. Because I generally contact I only got 2 department heads, my chiefs each month, a couple weeks before you got anything, basically doing that so you don't have the surprise, that type of thing. So, okay, as long as that's there, I'm fine. That's the only other thing. I hate to say this, but Dwayne, you did a good job if you wrote this, so.
Actually, it was very similar to a lot of the job description. And basically that's what I took it from. So it's basically the administrative job description took the right pieces out of it. And that was a piece in it, so.
Well, it's nothing personal. It's the royal cardinal thing. You understand that.
Never mind.
Okay, President Mansell.
I like how this is being used, like how they have been, so it's consistent. It's not like a completely new one. It's consistent with what, like the grading. I don't want to use grading, but the valuation piece of what we have been using. So that's nice that it's gonna be consistent.
I
you know,
did
and-
follow that format, and then, and Ben, I did the same, kind of similar form, it is the same format that we did in July for the rest of the staff.
Correct.
I, personally, if I may, Mr. Chairman, who's gonna be doing the evaluating? I presume FHR. And I don't think the whole committee should probably sit on that. I think, we have, Dwayne still available. And we have a village president. And the chairman of this committee, I think, should be the three to do the supervision and then report to the FHR committee and the board. Otherwise, loose lips sink ships. And we don't need somebody that's got a proverbial problem with a person, you know what I mean? And we've gone, and I know I'm gun shy as to what happened most recently in the last year with employee issues. And I just think you are gonna be totally divorced from it, but yet the father of the program, you're the chair and you're the village president, and I just think that's a better way to do it.
That's what I was talking about. I don't have a process. I have one in mind, and you're kind of giving giving your input now, what I was thinking of. But I do know that when it comes, I've been administrator in other communities, been through the evaluation process, and I've seen how we did them in closed session. And a lot of times the whole board wants to be involved in it, so that's the board. I got a process, you can give me in front of you guys.
Well, I encourage you to start with a proverbial ad hoc, three of you. Three with the start.
I agree with trustee Zerflo on that. I think that would be a good way to start. Any other discussion on the motion? Eric, do you have any discussion? Oh, I can't hear him.
He's not-
Hold on, Eric, you're muted.
I think you're muted, Eric. You might be muted on your end, Eric. Can't hear you.
Oh,
Sorry about that. Are we
There
going to assess the organizational structure as well as the role? Because I think that's as important, if not more important than the role.
I can answer that.
Yeah, go ahead.
When we put the pilot project together, that was one of the discussions that the board had. And basically, they determined that they want to do the pilot to see how the pilot runs, and then they would determine the structure, organizational structure, after the pilot, if it's going to be changed or not. So during the pilot process, they're going to be taking notes and forcing procedure, how you want to look at your organizational structure within the year. So nothing against Ben, but you may not end up have this process in place. You may go back to the full administrative procedure. That's why it's a pilot. That's why it's a pilot, and that's how the board, at that time we put it together, was looking at it.
Thank you. And if somebody would send me Dwayne, what you put together, that would be great, because I don't have that right now, but I appreciate it if you guys could send that to me.
The pilot,
Should be in your inbox right now.
Thank you. Point of order here for me. Am I appointed to this board, or am I just here to harass everybody?
harass everybody.
Okay, great.
Okay. With no other discussion, I will take a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Right.
Aye. Any
Oh, no.
opposed, say nay.
Sorry.
Hearing no nay, the motion passes. Number 8 on the agenda, update on the police chief replacement timeline. Ben?
Yes, Scott Stewart from the Police and Fire Commission gave an update to that. October 1st to October 31st, applications will be online in different sites where they can be picked up and filled in. They're looking for November through December 15th, starting their interview and background process. They're hoping for a December 15th final decision. And looking for, again, this is all tentative, looking for a February 1st starting date for the new police chief.
That'll give them 15 days or 2 weeks to be with Scott, right?
Correct. So those are the numbers that we're gonna be using, that he gave us as we get into the budget process. For the next, I gave that information to Scott that he can use that for his budget. That's all I
Okay,
have on that.
I think that makes sense, and I think that's a good timeline. Any other discussion on that? Anybody have anything? Okay, old business. I have none. Anybody have any old business?
I'm just gonna make a quick update. We've started handing out again the budget sheets to department heads so they can start working on getting their numbers put into the programs. We also met this week with department heads to get projections for fourth quarter numbers. That way that gives Diane a chance to start getting information put into the system, looking at the next year's budget. Projection numbers are definitely, like every year, they are tight. Did ask the department heads to work with me if they have any big purchases coming up. And, in the last quarter, and they were both, very good to work with, and we're all, I think, open-minded and respecting each other in that. So, just so you guys are aware, that process is going. Department heads will be bringing their, budget sheets to the next committee meetings for a discussion in each committee. So, unless there's any questions on that.
No,
Not a question for you.
yes, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm just curious, administrative quarters / you're still DPW director. Who, shouldn't we officially, even though we know who's number 2 over there, shouldn't we officially have a village foreman? That, because there's gonna be a lot of days where he's not gonna be able to be on scene.
I'm gonna let Ben handle that.
So obviously in the past, we've always had the relief foreman, over there. We've had that position. I'm not gonna, on that title, and I work with Diane. We'll use that position if there's a day where I know I'm not gonna be over there, like you're mentioning. If there's a certain situation, we'll definitely.
What's the pay differential for that?
It's $2 an hour, I think he gets to be a foreman,
And is it Mark?
Whoever you assign.
whoever I sign.
It changes
It'll-
daily?
No, it'll be the
He has
next
that
person.
authority. Wherever you assign, he has that authority. Could be wherever you want.
It's the next person in line.
So in other words, I could do Monday. Is that in the description?
The next senior guy or the next guy in line is the relief foreman.
So then my name was correct.
Yes.
All right, good. Because he's got a lot of moxie and being.
Feedback.
Anyway, if Mabel's gonna be giving me grief, Betsy must have pushed the wrong button.
We've definitely discussed that.
It is, as long as that's still the same from years ago.
Yep.
Okay,
Absolutely.
yep.
I
Okay,
don't know.
I have,
correspond, oh, yeah, go ahead.
no, no.
Yeah, okay, trustee Zerflu. Correspondence received. Nothing that I have received regarding FHR. Anybody receive anything?
Not for
Okay. Agenda items for next meeting, of course, the budget. Any other items that we would like to discuss?
You're going to keep the president advised whether you're gonna remote in from Florida or not for that meeting.
Definitely. Okay, without objection, I will adjourn the meeting at 4:43 PM.